Why don't you boycott almonds and avocados?
Because I don't see a reason to. Most of the bees are dying from mites.
You don't see...
Do you see pollination?
You don't see a reason to. Okay. All right.
Listen.
So you don't care about the little guys?
Only 6% die from pesticides, so it's not really a rights violation. Not murdering the bees.
Joey, here's my point.
The bees
big pig. A big pig makes you cry. A little bee.
Killed in gas chambers.
You don't care.
皆さんこんにちは。今回はヴィーガン系YouTuberがイギリス人司会者とバトルする動画を英語と日本語字幕付きで見て本場の英語を学びましょう。それではどうぞ。
Okay, let's come to Joey. So Joey, Bear Grylls, who I know well, said he's embarrassed he used to promote veganism. He now eats a diet of red meat, blood, bone marrow, as well as salted butter, eggs, fruit and honey. He says he's never felt better. Talking about his transition to a vegan diet, he said, I was vegan quite a few years ago. In fact, I wrote a vegan cookbook. I now feel a bit embarrassed about that because I promoted, I thought that was good for the environment, I thought it was good for my health. And through time and experience and knowledge and study, I realised I was wrong on both.
He's embarrassed that he promoted a plant-based diet when he drinks urine and bile out of camel's stomach.
Urine's quite healthy, though.
It's healthy. Would you drink urine? Would you rather drink urine?
Absolutely. If I had to, yeah. If I was in the jungle.
Yeah, but he's embarrassed that he promoted a vegan diet and he's not embarrassed of his behaviour on TV, and he thinks that eating the bodies of animals.
Why are vegans so angry?
Well, he made a statement saying the vegans are hangry and angry, but he carried on and banned all vegans from his restaurant because of one simple complaint.
He's allowed to?
Yeah, he's allowed to ban a whole group of people from.
Well, he's a chef who's just sick of tailoring to vegan people who want to have all this stuff and get angry about meat.
Well, listen. Wait a second. He got a two-star review when he was on Great British Menu, right? He'd ripped off his mic, smashed up the studio, and said that he wanted to kill the guy for giving him a two-star review of a fish dish that he made. He didn't ban all fish eaters from his restaurant.
Hang on, you
didn't ban all fish eaters.
Joey. Listen, we're going to get personal. You were a gang member, so don't take the high moral ground about smashing something up.
Mate, I'm completely honest about
True?
it. There's been documentaries made about it.
So don't take the high moral ground about him losing his temper. You were literally in a gang.
I was 10 years ago. 10 years sober now. You're going to use that.
I'm just saying, if you're going to get personal with him.
But anyways, I don't walk around with dead baby pigs facing them like that. Like, does that look like someone who really gives a damn about animals?
Picture.
Like, you know, and that's his profile picture, looking at a dead pig.
Joey,
in Australia, one second, I just want to say
Joey,
this. In Australia, pigs are killed in gas chambers, okay? They cause pigs, they're horrible. Have you seen footage from inside a gas chamber?
Joey, here's the thing.
I recently exposed one in the UK.
Yeah.
They
Carbon
screamed to
dioxide.
death and begged for mercy.
Okay.
In Perth, there's a gas chamber called Lindley Valley Pork, right? And this guy serves pork at his restaurant.
All right.
And why would you be more upset of a little complaint as a chef than pigs being murdered in gas chambers?
Let me ask you the question that I asked a vegan activist the other day, which is that given that 80% or 90% of the world's almonds come from California, where they are made involving the demolition of billions of bees who get murdered, how do you feel about the little guys?
They don't get murdered. That's completely false, and I don't know why.
How many billions of bees die in the pollination?
I've got the 2022 data right here. They die mostly from parasites and pests. 66% die of varroa mites or other pests and parasites. Some die from disease.
In the making of almonds and avocados.
They don't.
Oh, they do. They do.
The data is here. It's this here.
Do you know where I read this?
This here is data from US Department of Agriculture.
Do you know where I read this? I read it in The Guardian, the vegan Bible. Even The Guardian admitted that you vegans who eat avocados and almonds...
6.7%. This is nonsense.
You don't care about the little guys.
We boycott...
Billions of bees get murdered and you don't care.
Where do those bees come from?
Huh?
Where do those bees come
from? In America, they come from all over the country.
The commercial honey industry.
That's true.
And
a lot of them do.
Boycott? What do vegans boycott?
Go on.
The commercial honey industry.
Why don't you boycott almonds and avocados?
Because I don't see a reason to. Most of the bees are dying from mites.
You don't see...
Do you see pollination?
You don't see a reason to. Okay. All right.
Listen.
So you don't care about the little guys?
Only 6% die from pesticides, so it's not really a rights violation. Not murdering the bees.
Joey, here's my point.
The bees
big pig.
One second.
A big pig makes you cry. A little bee.
Killed in gas chambers.
You don't care.
No, listen.
You don't care about...
There's no reason to be upset about pollination.
Sometimes 50
they die from mites. Why aren't you angry at the mites?
Hang on, Joey.
Varroa mites.
Sort of shout over each other. Sometimes 50 billion bees die in 6 weeks.
From mites.
To give you vegans...
I've literally just told you they die from mites. Check out
that's not true.
These are agricultural stats from
That
America.
is not true. Read the Guardian.
I read it in an article. An anecdote, so it must be true. Listen.
Joey, how long have you been a vegan?
10 years.
Right. Do you actually... Because you seem quite agitated to me. Like you want a bit of...
It's just about nonsense about bees being murdered when they die from mites.
They are murdered. They're murdered.
It's clown behaviour.
But do you think, in a way, you represent what I feel about vegans? That you're all quite hangry.
Are you against animal cruelty, Piers?
Yes.
Then why do you support animal cruelty when you support the meat industry?
I've defended the bees for years.
No, Well, they're not murdered. They die from mites.
Billions of bees are murdered so that you vegans can eat almonds and avocados.
Do you boycott honey where they're hired from?
John, let me bring in John here. John, look, here's my point about the vegans. There's a lot of hypocrisy, as there is with all these debates, right? Which is that if you want to eat almonds and avocados as a vegan, you feel virtuous, you think you're saving the planet as well. Actually, neither of those things are true. Billions of bees get killed to make almonds and avocados. People can go read the proper reports about this.
Yeah.
And also, they fly them then around the world, or they truck them around the world, and of course that is terrible for the planet.
They truck animal products around the world.
Do you believe, John, that there's a kind of basic hypocrisy here with the vegans?
Look, I think, Piers, what I've noticed is that there's a strange correlation that they have between eating meat and death and murder, which they like to keep promoting that murderous side. I think if they look up the definition of murder, this is human versus human, and that is it. Look, I'm 100% against animal cruelty, and for him to bring up the Great British Menu, well, it just shows his mentality. Good lad, congratulations, well done. It's not what we're about. I think each should be to their own, and you should just enjoy your life. If they're going to argue, Piers, I feel that they should
enjoy your life.
But Joey, why can't you?
Why are you killing animals? Look at this.
Joey, it's a
Posing
pig.
with a murdered piglet.
It's a pig. Yeah.
Posing with a murdered piglet. And it
Joey.
wasn't just, you can't handle a simple complaint from and this woman, she's a very nice young woman. I spoke to this young woman.
Yeah.
She's very nice, very kind, very polite. And you can't handle a simple
Joey, let me ask you a question.
Celebrity chef.
Joey.
And it's clear,
Joey.
even meat eaters complain about his restaurant. He doesn't ban all meat.
Joey, if you want to be a vegan, I don't care, right? It's entirely down to you.
If you about bees being
slaughtered,
they're not being slaughtered.
Billions of bees. Everyone go and Google.
Billions of bees are getting killed by mites.
Here's what I say to everyone watching this, either on the show tonight or on YouTube later. Go and Google bees.
U.S. Department of Agriculture stats.
Almonds,
right here.
avocados, and you'll see the truth. The truth. Even The Guardian, where they all are compelled to eat lentils every day when they wear their sandals to work.
This is a gas chamber, Piers. This is how pigs are killed and slaughtered in the UK. This is my investigation.
If I ask you a question?
Why don't you play me the sound of billions of bees being murdered? Well, I know that animals get killed so that I can eat pigs.
They're screaming to death.
Right.
Look at them. Face them.
What do you think bees do?
Face them. They're screaming
What do you think bees do when you murder them?
They get killed by mites. This is gas chamber. Look at it.
No.
You don't even want to look at it.
They get slaughtered.
You're a coward.
I'm not cowardly.
Look at it.
I know that animals get slaughtered so that I can eat animal meat.
I've stuck this camera in this gas chamber in the UK at Pilgrim's Pride, and they scream for their lives, and every single animal welfare
here's my
charity
problem.
are against
Here's
it.
my problem.
And you eat bacon and you promote it.
I love bacon.
You promote it.
I love bacon.
You say you're against that.
I love sausages. I love it all. I love eating meat.
You love animal cruelty.
Yeah, I'm prepared to admit I love eating meat. You're not prepared to denounce avocado and almond
because you're making up stats. They don't get
because
slaughtered.
they actually lead to the
Pollination
extermination of
they want to
millions
keep
of
these
bees.
bees alive.
Final word to John.
いかがでしたか？とりあえず冷静に話してほしいところです。あとダニで死んでいるから殺害じゃないということを強調していましたが、生産過程で死んでいるのであれば同じことだと思いました。このチャンネルでは英語が楽しく学べる動画をアップしていきます。よろしければいいね、チャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。それではまた。